Going to play as we move on to the final highlight of the night. Eli Manning turned in a strong performance after a nervous start in Tampa Bay last week. Maybe it suggests he's starting to find his comfort zone in these playoffs. The Giants will hope so because they've already suffered 2 heavy defeats to Dallas this season. For the Cowboys, the fitness of Terrell Owens is key. He's already had 4 touchdowns against the G-men this season, and if he's recovered, he'll open everything up for the rest of the offense. Don't forget, though, it won't just be offense. It's an NFC East matchup, so there'll be no love lost in this one. Gotta love an NFC East matchup.
Yeah, and to me, the key to this game is basically pass rush. If Dallas can pass rush Manning and get him out of his comfort zone, then we can see the sort of old Eli Manning from the first part of the season, rather than the one who's looked so good over the last 3 weeks. 8 touchdowns, just 1 interception.
Well, that was Washington's game plan, and they didn't really pull it off.
No, they didn't. And you know, Dallas is a better pass rush team. But the Giants are the best pass rush team in the league. And you know, Tony Romo, if you can get him out of his rhythm, he hasn't been very good the last 3 weeks. And of course, he spent the 2.5 days in Mexico with
Yoko Romo,
yeah, Jessica Simpson. So who knows what that's done to his thumb?
Well, let's find out as we watch the Giants at Dallas. New York took the lead on their first drive. Armani Toomer taking it 52 yards for the go-ahead score. Early in the second half, Dallas hit back with this reception from the apparently healthy Terrell Owens. We pick it up later in the second quarter with Dallas in possession and knocking on the Giants' door.
Second down for Dallas. 2nd and 6. Play action from Romo. Rolls out, throws low, caught by Witten. 1st and goal. How about the 18th play of this drive? Terrell Owens and a lot of hand checking with R.W. McQuarters. 2nd and goal. Barber to about the 1. 3rd down and goal. Barber. No signal yet. Touchdown. Obviously, the only question then becomes, did a knee hit down before he broke the plane? It didn't look like it, but the booth called down, and they want to take another look at it just to make sure.
The ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Back with the Giants now on their very next drive and looking to respond at the end of the half.
Manning with time, throws and completes to Boss. And the rookie tight end sets up 1st and goal at the 4. Manning over the middle. Toomer, touchdown, New York. What a drive put together by Manning, and a fight breaks out between Brandon Jacobs and Roy Williams.
After the Cowboys retook the lead with a 34-yard Nick Folk field goal in the 3rd, we pick it up in the 4th with the Giants at the Cowboys 21.
Manning steps up, throws, completes. Steve Smith sets up 1st and goal from the 9.
That tells you what kind of confidence. That tells you what kind of confidence Eli Manning has in Steve Smith. And you know, for a guy who hasn't played, Plexico Burress out here was one-on-one. You know, you got a chance to maybe get him in a situation coming back over the middle, but instead he works the rookie, and it's because he's up against Jock Reeves. Going into this game, both Tom Coughlin and Eli Manning could not stress it enough. We want to go after Jock Reeves when he's on the field.
An 11-yard completion on 3rd and 6, and Ahmad Bradshaw stays on his feet down to the 1. Madison Hedgecock, the fullback, with a good block out in front of Bradshaw.
Well, Madison Hedgecock, he had some big blocks last week in their win over Tampa Bay, and you know what a luxury for a runner, especially a young runner, when you know you've got a guy in front of you that's going to be able to take out the first color that he sees. And that's exactly what Hedgecock does. Nice block right there on Roy Williams, and gives Ahmad Bradshaw a place to go with the football.
for Bradshaw, Troy. 54 of his 66 yards rushing last week at the Buccaneers came in the fourth quarter. He's turning into Mr. Fourth Quarter for the Giants, 2nd and goal. Jacobs is the tailback. Jacobs gets it and scores. Touchdown, Giants. And Jacobs fires the football into the play clock. And Tynes knocks through an important extra point, not by much. Brandon Jacobs got the touchdown and then tried to dismantle the play clock.
After forcing New York to punt on their next possession, Dallas were threatening again, deep in Giants territory.
It's 3rd down and 20. 4-3 left.
And surprisingly, Michael Strahan not on the field.
Dave Tollefson and Umanura are the ends. Play clock down to 1. A pump fake, aired out for Terrell Owens, downfield, underthrown. It's 4th down. And Flozell Adams is slow to get up. It's 4th and 20 after that incompletion, and Owens had gotten behind the defense.
Well, it sure had, and then in order to make that kind of play, you've just got to have time in the pocket to be able to make that throw. There's the pump. And Jason Tuck, I mean, the guy who's been making plays all year long, does a great job of getting pressure on Tony Romo. Right there you can see, had Romo had been given time, he's probably able to get that ball out.
After forcing this crucial sack on Eli Manning, the Cowboys got the ball back with time running out.
Romo saying there are times when Gerard can get a little yippy with the snap on a shotgun. It has happened in this game. That one's better. 1st and 15. Pass is complete. They'll keep the clock winding. And a timeout with 24 seconds left is taken by Dallas. If they're going to give forward progress,
that's right,
they're not going to allow then the clock to stop with Witten getting out of bounds. So they gave Witten the forward progress.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Joe. And you know, if they're going to give forward progress, then you can't also get the clock stopped. That was a good job by the official recognizing that.
The Dallas Cowboys now out of timeouts.
Yeah, you see that defensive front right there. Osa Umenyiora, Michael Strahan, Justin Tuck. I mean, you know, right now they pretty much know it's in a lot of ways on them. I mean, if they're able to get back there and contain Tony Romo and get pressure on him, they have a good chance, because, you know, we know that if he's given time, right now the middle of the field looks open, that he can find an open guy.
Romo throws incomplete. 3rd and 11 with 21 seconds left. Pressured by Umanura.
And I tell you what, I mean, for a guy who had not been getting hit much, he's been getting absolutely pounded here in the second half, particularly here in the fourth quarter. I mean, you see Osi Umenyiora, he puts a move on Flozell Adams, comes underneath, and every time pretty much that Tony Romo's dropped back here and back in the pocket here in this fourth quarter, he's been on his back. Either that or running for his life.
3rd and 11. End zone, Creighton overthrown. Now it's 4th and 11 with 16 seconds remaining.
Tell you, if you're Jason Garrett, 4th and 11. I mean, there's not a lot of good calls for 4th and 11, and Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, knows that as well. And Corey Webster, you know, they went after Corey Webster a little bit early in the game. They were able to make some plays, but when Aaron Ross went down, every one of these guys has been pretty much asked to cover one-on-one, Corey Webster especially, and he's done a good job, and now it comes down to one play.
On 4th down, clock running, intercepted. Giants, McQuarters, and the New York Giants 9 seconds away from advancing to the NFC Championship. McQuarters got one at the end of the game last week in Tampa, Florida, and he gets one here. Wade Phillips, it appears, will remain winless in the postseason, as will Romo, as Tony Romo throws the pick to end the day offensively for Dallas, and great coverage downfield.
Well, it sure was, Joe, and I said the middle of the field's open. That's where the ball needed to go, but, you know, just great coverage by R.W. McQuarters. When he followed him in the seam, you can't say enough about this Giants team and what they just accomplished and the way that they played and what they had to do at the end to win this game. And I know Jerry Jones and the rest of this organization is absolutely sick.
Poor Jerry.
Poor Jerry. What could happen to a nicer guy, as you always say now. Nick Allen wants to know, Mike, can the Giants make it after this sensational win?
You know, odds are against them, I have to say. You just think, yeah, I mean, the Giants won the battle of the pass rush, that's for sure, and that was one of the big things. Dallas, though, controlled the ball for, you know, an overwhelming time in this game, but couldn't do that much with it. And they kept throwing downfield, where you think they should sort of try to take what New York might be giving them.
Was it because their offense was inept, or the New York defense was particularly strong?
I don't know. I mean, I hate to go back to like Wade Phillips never winning a playoff game as a head coach.
But let's go back there.
But let's go back. Or Terrell Owens in his last, you know, like the last 5 playoff games, he's 0-3 in the ones he's played in, and, and the team is 2-0 in the ones he hasn't.
He hasn't, yeah.
But you know, that would be the easy way out. I think the Giants just basically outthought them and outplayed them in that game when they had to. And I think Dallas thought they could score at any point. The other big thing was the halftime adjustment that stopped Marion Barber pretty much cold. In the first half, Marion Barber ran through the Giants. And in the second half, he didn't do a whole lot.
Your old buddy Steve Smagnola, taking care of business.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just great game planning by him, and all season long he's used his rushers really well, and you know, that's going to be a problem for the Packers. But I think the Packers can cope with that better, you know, better than Dallas will. That Favre will cope with it better than Tony Romo will.
Who'd have thunk that the 2007 season would have been the year of Eli Manning coming of age, Mike?
Well, everyone would have thought, you know, it was the other Manning who would be at this stage.
Further ahead, and that's right.
But that's, you know, that's 4 in a row for Eli Manning, and you know, if he's turned a corner now, that's great. You know, and it'll be interesting too if by some quirk of fate, Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers got to face each other in a Super Bowl, because of course that was the big trade where they drafted Eli. San Diego.
Now what happened there? San Diego drafted Eli.
San Diego drafted Eli, even though his father had said he wasn't going to play in San Diego, knowing the Giants wanted him, and then they traded him to the Giants, got extra draft picks. As a result, Sean Merriman was the result of that. Nate Kading came with one, and I think they picked up Roman Oben as a free agent, or maybe with the Giants. But it was it was a good deal for both teams in that sense, if Eli Manning becomes, you know, a Manning, as it were.
And I remember that great photo of Manning looking particularly awkward on the podium as San Diego drafted him.
Yeah, he just didn't want to be there. And a quick shout out to.
We don't have great expectations, sadly, but we do.
I was waiting for that.
The Conference Championship Sunday, the 20th of January. It is San Diego. My tip for the Super Bowl. The dark horse is at Mike's tip. New England going for the perfect season, and the New York Giants, the NFC. Against Green Bay, that is going to be a heck of a match. Who'd have thought the Giants would be in there fighting for the NFC Championship and a place in the Super Bowl? And that's going to be on Tuesday. Don't forget that.
That's right. Basketball on Monday.
San Diego. Presumably they're going to need Phillip Rivers, LT.
Yeah,
Fitz,
you know, I think they'll be healthy, and I think they'll be okay. And that's a great matchup, because, you know, much as New England do to other teams, like the Colts in particular, San Diego can do to New England. They can pass rush in creative ways. They've got 3 decent cornerbacks, you know, one of whom, Antonio Cromartie, is reaching elite stage now.
Yeah.
Quentin Jammer's had a good year. You can argue about their safeties, but their outside linebackers, Phillips and Merriman, are both great. Their front 3 is the best, you know, or certainly along with New England's the best in the league. And then the only real question then is, what kind of defense do they do? Does Wilhelm play? Do they use Stephen Cooper all by himself again in the middle?
Yeah.
Can New England take advantage of that?
You think they will, don't you?
I think New England at home are going to win that, yeah.
Giants at the Packers. Will the weather factor again?
Again, weather factor, it shouldn't bother the Giants that much because they're used to playing in relatively bad weather at Giants Stadium where they were 3-5 this year. But, all season long, the Giants basically beat the teams that they should beat and lost to the teams that they should lose. Now, all of a sudden, they're beating the teams that they should lose to, and that's good news for them. But again, like I said a couple of minutes ago, I think Green Bay are kind of built to handle the Giants, and I think at home they'll be able to do that too.